How you doing, guys? This is Eric from RuleTheWasteland.com. I apologize if I'm looking a little bleary. I was watching through or looking through some old video footage that I had, and I came across some ridiculous, totally nonsensical stuff that my brother and I had done, and I was laughing so hard that I drooled on myself. It's so ludicrous. So now I look like I've been doing drugs or something. But anyways, I just recently watched a video by Rogue Preparedness, Morgan over there. If you don't remember, I've mentioned her before because I kept making fun of her about injecting ham into all of her videos. I was referencing ham for all of her videos ever since she made a video about ham radio. Anyways, she did a video recently about her 2019 goals, and it really fired me up and got me wanting to do my own similar video. And so I had already been, sort of planning out most of the stuff, sort of writing it down, but wasn't really ever planning to make a video about it. But I figured it would be good idea to get myself some accountability as well. They have done some studies that show that actually telling people about your goals is usually a bad idea, because the simple act of telling people your goals kind of activates the reward center in your brain, and you kind of get the same physiological response that you do from actually completing the goal. So for a lot of people, it can actually make it more difficult to actually do the work to complete these goals, because you felt like you've actually done something. But being out here in front of, audience, viewers, and things, a little different than just telling my family. So hopefully I will be able to not sit on my ass and actually accomplish some of these goals. Most of them are eminently doable. A few are going to be difficult. And if I reach every single goal that I have on this list, that probably means I wasn't ambitious enough. And if I don't reach any of them, it probably means that I just wasn't trying hard enough, because most of these I should be able to reach. There's different categories, everything from physical to the channel, prepping, everything. So I'm just going to start from the top of my list, which is mostly I started with the physical goals for fitness and things like that. I want to get to a 285 on my bench press. My current best was 260 that I just hit a few months ago. I just did today, hit 255, so I'm still right around there, even though I'd kind of slacked off my workout schedule during the holiday. So that's totally doable. If I keep up and actually hit all my workouts like I'm supposed to, I don't see any reason why I can't add, less than 5 pounds a month. Because if I hit 255, that's 30 pounds in a whole year. That's like 3 pounds, less than 3 pounds a month. I think that's totally doable. And then along with that bench press, I want to hit 8 reps of 225, which should certainly be possible if I get to 285 for my 1 rep max. But I've always had an issue with work capacity. So like, even though I will hit certain numbers for my 1 rep max, I won't always be able to do the number of reps that most other people would be able to do at a lower weight with the corresponding 1 rep max. And most of the time that's just because I didn't do enough volume work. I don't like doing volume work. I feel like anything over like 6 reps is like cardio. So that's the main thing, is just do more volume. Make sure I'm doing volume workout every week. 185 pounds for my overhead press. I hit 170 as my best for this year. That was barely, though, and I lost a little bit more on that one, slacking off for the holidays, but I'm still at 160. So this is a bigger percentage because it's a smaller one. But 160 to 185 in a year, that should be doable. It's definitely a lift that's harder to progress on as quickly as some of the other ones, because you're just starting with a smaller amount. So 25 pounds on your deadlift is not that big of a deal. 25 pounds on a lift that you're only doing 160 on is a pretty significant increase. It's like 20% almost. So 300-pound squat. My squat is a little girl squat. I don't even tell you what it is, but 300 pounds should be doable for the year. And the reason mine sucks is because I'm not good at it, so I don't do it enough, and I just need to do it more often. 390 for the deadlift. I hit 350, but I'd had weird issues with part of my back before, so I was really taking it slow. Haven't had any issues with that for a while, so I think I can start increasing on my deadlift. But my personal best on that is 350. I couldn't hit that right now probably, but I should still be in the even though I haven't, like I said, been slacking over the holidays and stuff. I would still be in the 330s right now if I did it. So to 390 again for something like deadlift, that's not that big of a percentage increase. I want to get to 75 pounds on weighted pull-ups, 60 pounds on the hub lift for grip training, which my best is like 47 pounds or something like that. But that's, once again, that's this big increase percentage-wise. 160 pounds on the Rolling Thunder rolling handle, another grip test. And the number 2.5 for the Captains of Crush gripper. This is the number 1. I can do the number 2 with my right hand, so I want to get to 2.5 on that one, and I want to get to number 2 on the left because I can't do the number 2 on the left yet. I want to be able to do 25 strict pull-ups, which is not that much, honestly, but my shoulder, I have a weird thing with my right shoulder, so I don't want to push the pulling stuff too hard. It doesn't get aggravated at all from pushing. It's something weird with the very bottom of the range of the pull-ups that kind of tweaks it a little bit, so I want to make sure I don't stress that too bad by just doing, because if I went out there and did push or pull-ups till failure every day, I could probably get to 25 within 2-3 months, easy. But because I can go out there and do, 10, 12 normal ones right now because I just haven't been doing a whole lot because I wanted to rest my shoulder. So I could certainly double that within a couple months if I just went ham on them. But I want to do it sustainably, so not injure myself. And at some point during the year, I want to do 1,000 push-ups in a single day. So some of that's a logistical issue, how you break up the sets and whatnot, but certainly there's obviously a performance issue to that one as well. I saw someone that I don't remember who it was, someone I follow on Twitter saying that they did it. It took them all day, so I want to see how quickly I can do it. I have no doubt that I could do it right now if I literally took all day and did sets of 10 every so many minutes or whatever, but I'd rather be able to bust out in like sets of 50 or something like that. So at some point, probably near the end of the year, obviously, so once I've had more time to train, I want to try and do 1,000 push-ups in a single day. I want to be able to get to a 15-second freestanding balanced handstand. That's another one that probably wouldn't take that long if I actually did it every day, but as long as I can do that by the end of the year. I want to work on my flexibility quite a bit, and it's just from sitting all the time and stuff. My lower back and hamstrings are incredibly tight, so I want to be able to get to the flexibility level where I can, hanging from the bar, touch my toes, up where my hands are. Right now, I can't get anywhere near that, and if possible, do the side split position, which that might be a bit ambitious, but I know it's certainly possible to do it within a year. My big problem with these is that I hate stretching. I hate it. For whatever reason, I don't have the same reward. It's not as rewarding to me as lifting. It's very uncomfortable and boring, and it's just incredibly hard for me to consistently make sure I stretch, but it's super important, especially as I'm getting older and just sitting down all the time. It's really bad. I want to add an inch to my neck, doing neck training. That shouldn't be too hard over the year as well, as long as I'm consistent. And I want to get to sub 12% body fat and maintain it as well. That should be fairly doable as well if I can not be a fat bitch with my eating. So that was all the physical benchmarks that I want to get to. For skills and improvement, I want to do at least 40. I want to start doing my jiu-jitsu and martial arts training again. I haven't done it in years, and I really, really miss it. And I feel like a huge piece of crap for not improving myself in that area. So I want to hit at least 40 classes for the year in jiu-jitsu, and I want to start officially start striking training as well. I've done a little bit, just barely any informal striking, and never had any actual training in any of the striking arts like boxing, kickboxing, or anything like that. So I'd like to start that as well. And I picked 40 classes of each that I want to do for the entire year. That's not hard. That's only 1 week of each. The reason that might be difficult is just for the financial aspect. I don't have enough money to start the training right now. So that means I have basically 10 weeks to start getting enough money to work. And then if I wait 10 weeks, I have to hit every week or I won't meet my goal. So hopefully I'll be able to do it, rustle up enough money sooner than that, but we'll see. I want to learn Spanish, get to a conversational level somewhere between like 500 or 1,000 words by the end of the year if possible. That one I've been wanting to do for a long time. There's a lot of people in town here who speak Spanish. It's really useful. A lot of different countries, obviously, that speak Spanish. And it's just been something that's I always felt would be incredibly rewarding and be able to be very proud of learning a language, a foreign language, as an adult, basically starting from scratch, not one that you grew up learning, but get to a level of proficiency as an adult. It's very uncommon for people to do that. Most people that get to that level, they've started fairly young. It's much more difficult for various reasons to do it as an adult. So I would feel quite accomplished if I could do that, and that's one of my goals. I want to go make sure I'm practicing my shooting skills in any format, whether that's just a run and gun, long distance, just shooting at cans, whatever, at least twice a month that I want to stay active with that. And I want to read at least 40 books. That's not even one a week. Obviously, that's easy. It's not. I do enjoy reading. I've just been kind of slacking on it lately. So 40 books for the whole year. So then that was most of the personal stuff, skills, and physical. For the Rule the Wasteland Empire, I have a bunch of goals for that as well, obviously. I've been telling you about my fishing kits that I'm making. They should be done within a couple weeks, ready to go. My goal is to sell 300 of them throughout the entire year. I have no idea if that's ambitious or incredibly conservative. It all depends on the reaction to it, how well I promote it, how many other people I can get to take a look at it. If I do any paid advertising, all that stuff will factor into it. But I think it's definitely doable. That's 10 a month, or not 10 a month. It's like 20 something a month. Not quite one a day, obviously. A year is 365 days, so I'll start with 330-ish days. So it's almost one a day for the entirety of the year. Obviously, it probably won't work out like that. I'll probably have spikes, of sales, hopefully. Maybe I won't sell a single one. We'll see. But that's my goal, is 300. I want to get 10 to 20 channels to do reviews on them, where I will send them a free fishing kit, get them to do a review on it. That obviously will help me reach that sales goal. I have multiple kits that I want to complete, and most of them exist in some format, like a EMP kit, bug out bag, trauma kit, NBC kit, but they're just really not optimized, and they're certainly not staged well in a way that I can get to them quickly if I really, really quickly if I need to. I'm talking about the difference between like 3 minutes and 30 seconds and stuff like that in the way that they're set up. So I want to complete all those bags properly. I want to send at least 100 emails to my email list, which I've been sending some emails at. That's only 2 a week. That's not bad. It's not even quite 2 a week. So I certainly should be able to do that. If you guys are interested in those emails, link will be in the description for how you can sign up to the email list. I want to reach 50,000 subscribers on this channel. I think this one's a little ambitious just based on the amount of subscribers that I have. I haven't even been hitting 500 a month for a while, and 500 a month is only 6,000 a year. I need to hit just over 8,000, so I need somewhere like 700 a month. But I think if I really push, make sure I keep making videos, do the collaborations that I've been doing with Reality Survival and more, do some other stuff that I have here on the list, I think it's definitely possible. And so that's my goal. I want to reach 1,000 Twitter followers. I'm already at like 230, 238, something like that. So I think if I keep churning out content on there and keep promoting my stuff there, it should be doable. I think obviously adding subscribers is easier the bigger you get. Like adding 800 subscribers or followers on Twitter is easier the more you get up, as it represents a less and less percentage of your total subscriber base, just because of the amount of views that your impressions that your stuff will get by retweets and whatnot. But that's my goal. I want to publish at least 150 videos on this channel. So that's roughly 3 a week. And now I'm including live streams in that. So at least 2 videos a week other than my weekly live stream. And that's certainly doable as well. I just got to, hustle and make sure I get that done. I have a bunch of different book ideas that I want to do for mostly prepping related stuff, maybe even possibly some fiction. I haven't decided yet what book I want to do first, or which would be easiest or best to do first. So I haven't really put that particular part of it into the goals. So I just said I want to do 150 pages of content towards books. Doesn't matter which ones they are, which one I start first. If I can get 150 pages done, that might be more than one whole book, depending on which one it is, or it might just be a portion of others. Who knows? But that's 3 pages roughly a week, and I want to get at least that much done for the entire year. Totally doable. Certainly I can bust out a page of content in much less than a day. So what I'm assuming I will do is sit down once a week and try to bust out a few pages at a time instead of trying to space it out, because that's just easier to do it that way. But that's the goal, 150 pages towards any of these book projects for the whole year. I want to do at least 10 interviews with people on my channel of various kinds. It can be related to economics and economic collapse, and it can be prepping related, any of these topics that I cover on this channel. It's something that I've always wanted to do. There's a lot of channels out there that I enjoy, and it's cool it helps them get good exposure as well. Helps me get good exposure if it's a channel that's as big or bigger than me, and it just allows me to get into some of their content a little more in depth or in specific ways that I'm interested in that they're not necessarily haven't done in their videos. So it'll be fun as well. Good networking as well. So that should be fun. Really looking forward to that. The main hurdle for that one is making sure I find a reliable and easy way to film the interviews, whether that's Skype or I don't know. I haven't. That's the only hiccup yet, is I still haven't figured out the best way to do that. And I want to do at least 50 Instagram posts. Not as worried about Instagram, but I do have some people following me on there. Link is in the description, so I want to increase that. That's just one a week, not even one a week. So then for unrelated to Rule the Wasteland, I said multiple times, told you guys about the podcast, the movie podcast that I do with my girlfriend called Faint Praise. It's a lot of fun, but it takes both of us to do it as well, so it's even harder to kind of get together than it is for me to just do a video. But I want to do at least 25 of those, and that's only once every 2 weeks. But it does require watching 2 movies usually to do each podcast, and then sitting down to do the podcast. So it's not, it does take some time to do. So you're talking at least roughly 6 hours worth of time to just watching movies, filming the podcast, and then she does the editing and uploading for that one. But we're talking 4 to 6 hours minimum to do a podcast for me. So 2 weeks I think is reasonable for that, once every 2 weeks. And yeah, so for prepping, we'll get into the prepping stuff. I want to get to 6 full months for 2 people of exclusively the long-term stored food. A lot of what I have right now is canned goods storage. You eat what you store stuff. I didn't have to, but I chose to get rid of a lot of my long-term stuff that I'd self-stored. It was like 10 years old at that point. So sure, it probably could last another 10 or 15 years if I'd done it properly, which I'm pretty sure that I had. But I already had to move cross-country. I was tight for space and weight in the rental truck. So I figured I would sell that stuff off. I sold it to someone who was going to use it to feed their animals, and for very cheap, very cheap. But and so I wanted to either repackage some of my own and also get some of the legacy food stuff, which you can get a link in the description to their stuff as well. It's pretty good, pretty cheap per calorie. So I want to have a whole 6 months just in that long-term stored food, in addition to what I already have, which is, at this point, it's not quite 6 months for 2 people. So I want to bolster that, definitely. I need to get several courses of antibiotics. It's the one thing we talked about in the live stream with Prepper Logic and Reality Survival that I don't have. They both do, and a lot of other people do. I think it's super important. It's one of the probably biggest risks for a long-term shit the fan scenario is the different types of diseases that would crop up. Everything from cholera to just infected wounds, and bladder infections, eye infections, just any level of thing that can happen. And antibiotics are really the only way to treat them. And you can get the fish antibiotics fairly cheap. I just kind of got stuck in long-term research mode where I was always like, oh, I got to figure out a little bit more about that. It's not that complicated. I just need to pick up some of that stuff. So I plan on doing that soon. I need several fire extinguishers. I have 2, but they're small and they're old. They need to be replaced. I want at least 2 in the house and a small one for the car, which I don't have one in the car right now. I want to increase my equipment for any sort of pandemic or disease-related stuff. I have a few masks and a few gloves, and that's about it when it comes to that. So I want some more of the N95 masks, some more, maybe a couple boxes of the really thick, like nitrile type gloves, things like that, eye shields, anything that you would need, disinfectant for any sort of pandemic situation. And I want to make sure I stage all my preps for bug out, not just have them, but actually actively stage it and organize it in a way that I have it numbered by priority for any bug out situation, things like that. And I want to make sure my girlfriend is very competent with every single one of the firearms that we have in the house. She is competent with firearms. She's not a regular user like me, like a recreational shooter. She has fun doing it too, but she just doesn't enjoy it quite as much as I do. So I haven't spent nearly as much time showing her all the various ins and outs of the different guns I have, which can be an issue in a stressful situation. I want to make sure that she has the ability to pick up any of the firearms that I own and use it without being nervous or flustered. Because, I have different firearms. Some from the safety you push up with your thumb, some of it you push down with your thumb, realizing which magazine goes to which, stuff like that, just so you know the stuff cold, just making sure. So just go out with her at least a few times this year, make sure, and make sure she knows all ins and outs of those. And beyond that, I have some financial goals for myself for the year. I'm not going to get into those because I don't want you guys to be depressed. But that's pretty much it. This video's gone pretty long. Seems like a lot, but only because I'm lazy. None of this stuff is that difficult. It just is going to require consistent weekly effort on every one of these items. I mean, I don't think there's a single thing on here that if I do an hour a week for each, on some of these things, that I won't get the results that I want. And a lot of them will have overlapping results. Like if I make 150 videos and do all my Twitter stuff, then my YouTube subscribers and the should go right along with that. The sales of my fishing kits and everything else should go right along with that. Things like that. And obviously there's a lot of overlap between a lot of these physical benchmarks. So if am I consistent with my workouts, that progression will just naturally happen. I don't need to do anything too bizarre to focus on these individual physical benchmarks other than structure my workouts the way they need to be and then just hit it consistently. Let me know what you guys think about these, if you think I'm being a little bit overzealous given my lazy nature, or if you think that it's completely doable, and which ones do you think, let me know in the bottom, which ones you think I will not get and which ones you think I'll definitely get. And maybe I'll come up with some prizes for people who got it right at the end of the year. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll talk to you later. And check out the rulewasteland.com, and I'm not wearing one of my t-shirts now, but the link will be in the description. So thanks for watching.